Peace to all of the divine primordial deities. Now, let me go back over the video I did on melatonin and neuromelanin in the brain and why it requires darkness, okay? Now, what y'all got to keep in mind is that the matriarch has returned, and everything you thought you knew, you're going to have to relearn. The matriarch is the great teacher that comes to teach all things. This is the age of Aquarius, where the spirit is being poured upon the people. That's the Holy Spirit, which is the Shekinah that the Bible talk about, that is going to come in the last days to teach all things. Okay, so what y'all got to keep in mind is that in the last days, knowledge is going to increase. And it's also going to be a lot of information that's going to be brought forth that is going to go against what you thought you knew. Because the divine feminine is back in the fold of things. Now, we know that the sun plays its role. It's the starter, right? And the moon will be considered your alternator, right? That holds the charge. The sun represents the masculine. It's the negative energy. It also deals with electricity. The moon deals with the divine feminine. It's the positive energy, okay? And it deals with magnetism. This is why we are called your electromagnetic beings. Now, the sun and the moon have their roles. And I'm going to tell you exactly what they are. Now, I ain't never say that you couldn't be up under the sun. But sun gazing and being up under the sun is totally two different things. The masculine deals with the external, which is the physical. That's the sun. But when it comes to the divine, that deals with the internal. That's the black sun and the moon. So in order for you to get integrated with the spirit, you got to go to the darkness, because that's where the true spirit lies. This is why your melatonin, which is a hormone in the brain, and the neuromelanin, which is a chemical in the brain, operate better in darkness up under the moon and the black sun, not the actual sun. The moon is also associated with soul and the spirit realm. It's also connected to our melanin phases, and it's also connected to the divine feminine cycles. And it also deals with your consciousness phases. And anything dealing with the divine feminine is spiritual and divine, because she is the divine supreme being. And the moon is a representation of her. Y'all got to keep in mind that everything has been put in reverse. We technically supposed to be up at night under the moon and the black sun. But in the daytime, we supposed to be asleep. This is why those who have high levels of melatonin operate better at night. Because the melatonin and the neuromelanin is key to the divine. And those who are more tapped into the melatonin and tapped into their neuromelanin, which is the vehicle of consciousness and soul, is more intuitive. And those are the ones that reach higher states of awareness and tap into their God mind or their queendom mind. This is why Tahuti, which is the god of knowledge and wisdom, is a moon god. What you got to understand is Tahuti is the divine feminine. This is why he represents the moon. And his symbol is the crescent, which deals with the waxing phases of the moon, which deals with increase, an increase in knowledge and wisdom. Tahuti is feminine, because the divine feminine is the beholder of knowledge and supreme wisdom. And that deals with the moon, not the sun. So don't try to confuse my words when I say that we don't supposed to be sun gazing, because it's a difference from being under the sun than sun gazing, because the sun has its part. But when it comes to your divine evolution and your consciousness, you need the moon, and you need to be in the darkness, because that's where the true spirit is. And that deals with the internal, which is the feminine energy, because she is the key. It's not the sun. The sun is the masculine. He ain't the key. It's the feminine, which is the moon. Now, if everybody talking about the moon is a soul catcher, this Saturn moon matrix is bad, well, you need to elevate in your consciousness. That's all I got to say. You need to elevate, because things is not what you think that they are. Okay? And the more you elevate, you will start to see that. The moon ain't your enemy, nor is Saturn. Saturn is also connected to the divine feminine, which is Isis. Okay, and the moon is connected also to the divine feminine. You're in the matrix, which means you're in the womb. The matrix isn't the issue, it's the programmers. You understand? And so keep in mind, you're in the spectrum of light, right? You're dealing with the spectrum, which is the prism. That's the prison, right? You are the only reason why you are trapped here. You hold the key to your own destiny. It's up to you to get out of here. This ain't got nothing to do with the matrix. You trapping your own soul based off your level of consciousness because you don't want to elevate. So this ain't got nothing to do with the moon or Saturn or the matrix. You are your own worst enemy. And this is why we supposed to be here evolving, because we're in the womb. You are a fetus and you supposed to be evolving here and elevating so that way you can resurrect up out of this matrix and go to the higher matrix, okay? Which is the crown, the Keter, where you get back to your God mind, which is a much more higher advanced form of the matrix. You ain't doing nothing but leaving one matrix and going to the other, because the matrix you in now is considered the lowest form of the matrix. This is why we must elevate and ascend in our consciousness, so that way we can advance. So let me reiterate. The melatonin, which is a hormone in the brain, and the neuromelanin, which is a chemical in the brain, is a vehicle of consciousness and soul. And in order for you to reach higher states of development, of enlightenment, and tap into your God mind, you got to go to the darkness, baby, because that's where the true spirit is at. And that deals with the divine feminine, which is the great mother, not the sun, which deals with the external, which is the masculine. Now, keep in mind what they call the witch hours is at 3 a.m. at night. What y'all got to understand is the moon is associated with the spirit world. So when you are up under the black sun and up under the moon at night, you will notice how you be more tapped in, because the veil is thin at night between the spirit realm and the physical realm. You notice how you get more downloads and how you get more uploads and how you be more intuitive at night. Even your energy be elevated at night up under the black sun and the moon. So both play its role, the sun and the moon. But baby, the moon is the key, and never forget that.